Hey folks, before we get started, don't forget to follow Sky Alert USA to catch this video and all our future updates. If you find our weather coverage helpful, please support us by subscribing, liking and dropping a comment below. We really appreciate it. Good morning, America and Canada. Welcome back to Sky Alert USA, your trusted source for comprehensive weather updates across North America. I'm bringing you today's critical weather report for Thursday, February 13th, 2026, along with an extended 3-day forecast that could significantly impact your weekend plans. Today, we're tracking multiple weather systems affecting different regions from coast to coast. We have a developing storm pattern brewing across California and the Pacific Northwest, lingering winter conditions across the Northeast and Great Lakes, relatively calm weather across the Central Plains, and cold air continuing to dominate Canada's prairie provinces. Let's dive deep into what's happening right now and what you need to know for the days ahead. Starting on the West Coast, where Mother Nature is preparing to unleash a powerful sequence of storms that will impact millions of residents from British Columbia down to Southern California. The big story developing today is the arrival of multiple Pacific storm systems that are beginning to line up like freight trains over the Gulf of Alaska. The first of these systems is already making its presence felt along the coasts of Washington and Oregon, where rain has been breaking out throughout the morning hours. Portland is experiencing steady rainfall, with accumulations expected to reach 1 to 2 inches by evening, while Seattle is seeing similar conditions with breezy northwest winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. But the real headline maker is California, which is bracing for what meteorologists are calling a significant weather pattern shift. After enduring some of the most intense storms of the winter in early 2026, which brought devastating flooding to regions like San Diego, where the San Diego River overflowed and inundated Mission Valley, and extreme snowfall to mountain passes, the state has been enjoying a brief respite. However, that calm period is coming to an end. Starting Sunday night or early Monday morning, California will see the return of heavy precipitation. This isn't just one storm. It's a parade of systems that could deliver near-record rainfall and snowfall through at least February 22nd. The Storm Prediction Center and AccuWeather meteorologists are warning that northern and central California could receive close to an entire month's worth of rain in just 1 week. Here's what we're tracking for California over the next 3 days. Today, Thursday, February 13th. Mostly dry conditions prevail across most of California. San Francisco is enjoying mild temperatures around 66 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Los Angeles is seeing similar pleasant conditions with highs around 68 to 72 degrees. Sierra Nevada passes remain clear for travel. This is your best window for mountain travel. Light winds across most regions. Friday, February 14th. Conditions remain generally calm. Some high clouds begin streaming in from the northwest. Temperatures holding steady in the 60s along the coast. Mountain areas still seeing good travel conditions. This is essentially the calm before the storm. Saturday, February 14th through Sunday, February 15th. The weather pattern dramatically changes. The first storm system approaches the coast Saturday evening. Rain begins breaking out along the northern California coast by Sunday morning. Moderate to heavy rainfall developing in the San Francisco Bay Area. Central California begins seeing precipitation Sunday afternoon. Snow levels starting high around 5,000 to 6,000 feet, but gradually lowering. Monday, February 16th through midweek. The real storm intensity arrives. Heavy rain expected across most of northern and central California. Atmospheric river conditions may develop, bringing tropical moisture. General rainfall amounts of 2 to 4 inches along most coastal areas, with higher amounts of 4 to 8 inches possible on west-facing slopes of the Sierra Nevada. There's a local storm max potential of up to 12 inches in the wettest locations. Flash flooding and mudslide risks increase significantly. Sacramento's Central Valley could see 2 to 4 inches of soaking rain. For the Sierra Nevada mountains, this is a major snow event in the making. Snow levels dropping to 4,000 to 5,000 feet by Monday evening, with 2 to 3 feet of snow accumulation expected at higher elevations by Wednesday morning. Some models are suggesting 3 to 7 feet total through February 22nd. Lake Tahoe region should expect significant snowfall, 1 to 2 feet near the shoreline and 3 or more feet at summit levels. Major mountain passes including Donner Pass will likely see chain controls. Travel disruptions are highly likely Monday through at least Wednesday. This is powder snow, with temperatures in the teens and 20s Fahrenheit. The National Weather Service has issued winter storm warnings for the Sierra Nevada effective Monday morning. If you need to travel over mountain passes, do it today or Friday. By Monday, conditions will deteriorate rapidly. Coastal areas of Northern California should also prepare for high surf and strong winds, with gusts potentially reaching 70 miles per hour along exposed coastal headlands. Southern California will initially remain on the drier side of this pattern, but by Tuesday, another system may bring rainfall to the Los Angeles Basin and San Diego areas as well. The Pacific Northwest is already in the thick of active weather today. Portland and Seattle are experiencing rain showers with embedded heavier downpours. A sneaker wave warning is in effect for the Oregon coast through Sunday, February 15th. These dangerous waves can surge much farther up beaches than normal, sweeping unsuspecting beachgoers and pets into the ocean. If you're planning razor clam digging or beach activities, exercise extreme caution and stay well back from the surf zone. Here's the 3-day forecast for Seattle. Today, rain with a high of 48 degrees and breezy northwest winds. Friday, showers with a high of 47 degrees and winds decreasing. Saturday, rain returns with a high of 46 degrees. And for Portland, today, steady rain with a high of 51 degrees. Friday, scattered showers with a high of 50 degrees. Saturday, rain likely with a high of 49 degrees. Mountain passes in the Cascades are seeing rain at lower elevations with snow above 4,000 feet. Accumulations will be modest through Friday, but increase over the weekend as the next system approaches. Vancouver is experiencing its typical February weather pattern, wet and mild. Today's forecast calls for rain showers with temperatures right around 48 degrees Fahrenheit or about 9 degrees Celsius. The city is locked into a pattern of Pacific moisture, though, compared to the extreme cold affecting eastern Canada, residents should probably count their blessings. Freezing levels remain well above 3,000 feet, which means coastal areas will only see rain. The Central Plains are enjoying a relatively quiet weather day, though conditions are still pretty chilly. That cold air from the massive Arctic outbreak we saw in late January and early February is finally moderating, but, temperatures are still running below normal for mid-February. Today, across the southern states, we're tracking some developing shower and thunderstorm activity. A weak upper-level disturbance is moving through the south-central plains into the southeast. This system is bringing a few things to keep in mind. For Texas, western parts will see isolated to scattered thunderstorms developing this evening, and honestly, small hail is possible in the strongest storms. Around Dallas-Fort Worth, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 61 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 degrees Celsius. Houston will be partly sunny and should reach a high of 68 degrees, that's about 20 Celsius. Down in San Antonio, it'll be mild, with highs around 70 degrees or 21 Celsius. In Oklahoma, the southwestern counties have a slight risk of severe weather tonight, with marginally severe hail possible. Oklahoma City will be mostly cloudy, with a high near 55 degrees or 13 Celsius. Moving over to the Gulf Coast and southeast, Mobile, Alabama is looking partly cloudy, with a high of 67 degrees or 19 Celsius. Atlanta, Georgia should be partly sunny and top out at 57 degrees or 14 Celsius. Charlotte, North Carolina will see sunny skies and a high of 52 degrees or 11 Celsius. Raleigh, North Carolina is mostly sunny, with a high of 59 degrees or 15 Celsius. Looking ahead to the weekend, a more organized system will move into the southeast on Sunday, bringing increased rain chances from Alabama and Georgia into Florida. While the severe weather risk appears limited, due to, only modest instability, heavy rainfall will still be possible. The Great Lakes region continues to see lake-effect snow activity following the passage of the latest Clipper system. Cold air flowing over the relatively warmer lake waters is generating bands of snow, especially downwind of Lakes Erie and Ontario. Today, Cleveland can expect lake-effect snow showers with a high of 28 degrees Fahrenheit or -2 Celsius and about 1 to 3 inches of accumulation possible. Buffalo will see snow showers with a high of 26 degrees or -3 Celsius. Detroit is partly cloudy with highs near 30 degrees or -1 Celsius. Chicago should be partly sunny with a high of 32 degrees, that's right around 0 Celsius. Milwaukee will be partly cloudy with a high of 29 degrees or -2 Celsius. The Appalachian Mountains, especially in Pennsylvania, are seeing upslope snow enhancement. The Laurel Highlands region could pick up an additional 2 to 4 inches through tonight. Looking at the 3-day outlook, Friday will bring a break in the lake-effect snow as high pressure builds over the mid-Atlantic. However, another weak Clipper system is set to approach New England Friday night into Saturday, bringing light snowfall to that region. By Sunday, milder air will start advancing northward, and temperatures will begin a warming trend that'll continue into next week. All right, folks. Here's what's going on in the northeast and New England today. It's a cold one out there, but for the most part, things are staying dry. After that last weather system moved on, Canadian high pressure settled in, bringing us clear skies and, some pretty frigid temperatures. So, here's what you can expect. New York City is mostly sunny, with a high around 34 degrees, and northwest winds blowing 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 30. Boston sunny too, topping out at 32, but with wind chills in the teens, so it'll feel even colder. Philadelphia's got mostly sunny skies, high of 36. Washington, D.C., sunny and a bit warmer, high near 39. Albany's partly cloudy, high of 28. The good news? No major storms are threatening the I-95 corridor through the weekend. The bad news? It's going to stay cold. Tonight, temperatures drop into the teens and low 20s across most of the region, and with the wind, it'll feel even colder. Now, looking ahead for New York City today, sunny, high of 34, low of 22. Friday, partly sunny, high 36, low 24, with about a 30% chance of some light snow. Saturday, partly sunny again, high 38, low of 26. And for those of you near the coast, a small craft advisory is in effect for Long Island Sound, New York Harbor, and surrounding waters through Thursday evening, thanks to those northwest winds of 15 to 25 knots, gusting to 30. So, bundle up and stay safe out there. Now, let's talk about the Canadian Prairies, Alberta, Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Western and central Canada are seeing the coldest conditions across all of North America today. This is where that Arctic air is coming from, creating some truly brutal conditions for millions of folks. Over in Calgary, Alberta, you'll get mainly cloudy skies clearing near noon, with a high of 13 degrees Celsius, that's 55 Fahrenheit, thanks to a brief Chinook warming. Tonight it clears out, dropping to -3 Celsius, or 27 Fahrenheit. Friday's mainly sunny high of 7 Celsius, and Saturday brings a mix of sun and cloud, with a high of 1 Celsius. But looking ahead, temperatures crash next week, and periods of snow will develop Monday. In Edmonton, Alberta, skies clear this morning, high of 7 Celsius. Tonight there's a 30% chance of flurries, low drops to -3. Friday's a mix of sun and cloud, high of 4, and Saturday stays mixed, high of 2. But here's the kicker. A major pattern change is on the way. Heavy snow arrives Tuesday and temperatures plunge to -13 Celsius or 9 Fahrenheit. Winnipeg, Manitoba, is stuck in a deep freeze. Today's partly cloudy, high of -8 Celsius, but wind chills make it feel like -20. This is the cold engine room for North America, folks. Regina and Saskatoon in Saskatchewan. Extreme cold just won't let up. Daytime highs are struggling to reach -10 Celsius, and overnight lows are dropping to -25. This multi-day stretch of dangerous cold continues. The prairie provinces are seeing some of the coldest air of the entire winter season. This is classic Canadian winter at its most extreme, with frigid continental Arctic air dominating. Wind chills are downright life-threatening if you're not properly prepared. Frostbite can set in as little as 10 to 15 minutes on exposed skin, so take care out there. Moving on to eastern Canada, Ontario and Quebec, conditions here are a bit more moderate compared to the prairies, but make no mistake, it's still solidly winter weather. In Toronto, Ontario, tonight will be clear with a low of -12 Celsius, wind chill making it feel like -19. Friday, you're looking at a high of 0, with a 30% chance of flurries. Saturday brings a mix of sun and cloud, high reaching 2 degrees, and Sunday, that mix continues with a high of 4. Over in Montreal, Quebec, it's cold but dry. Today's partly cloudy, high of -6. Lake effect snow showers are possible downwind of the Great Lakes, and a weekend warming trend is on the way. Ottawa, Ontario, is sunny and cold, high of -8. Tonight it'll be clear with lows near -18, but there's a gradual warming coming through the weekend. So, yeah, keep those winter coats handy, but there's a little relief on the horizon. All right. So, the maritime provinces are dealing with some pretty active winter weather right now. Newfoundland and Labrador are under snowfall warnings, with yellow level alerts from Environment Canada. Over in St. John's, Newfoundland, there's a snowfall warning in effect. Expect about 5 to 10 centimetres of additional snow through Friday. Coastal areas could see wind gusts between 70 and 80 kilometres per hour. So, yeah, travel's gonna be tough. Highs are hovering right around 0 degrees Celsius. That's 32 Fahrenheit. Down in Halifax, Nova Scotia, there's a winter weather advisory, with periods of snow and blowing snow and accumulations of about 3 to 6 centimetres. High is -2 Celsius, or 28 Fahrenheit. Oh, and freezing drizzle is also a concern across parts of Labrador, making for some extremely hazardous driving conditions. Here's a quick summary of active weather alerts across North America. For active winter weather advisories, we've got the Sierra Nevada in California under a winter storm warning starting Monday, Newfoundland and Labrador under a snowfall warning, the Great Lakes region with a lake effect snow advisory, and northern New England with a winter weather advisory Friday night. Now, for active wind advisories, Northern California coast is under a high wind watch for the weekend, with gusts up to 70 miles per hour, and the Oregon coast has a wind advisory. As for coastal hazards, the Oregon coast is under a sneaker wave warning through February 15th. California has a coastal flood advisory for San Francisco Bay, thanks to king tides, and the northeast coast is under a small craft advisory. And finally, for temperature extremes, the Canadian Prairies are still under extreme cold warnings, with wind chills down to -30 Celsius. That's -22 Fahrenheit. Okay, let's take a look at the 3-day national outlook. For Friday, February 14th, that's Valentine's Day, the West Coast is looking at the calm before the storm. So it's really the last good travel day. California will be mild and pleasant, so it's a good day to get any preparations done. The Pacific Northwest will see scattered showers. The central US will be partly cloudy and cold, and down south clouds are increasing with some isolated storms possible in Texas and Oklahoma. The northeast stays cold but dry, and in Canada it's cold across the prairies but moderate in Ontario and Quebec. Now, for Saturday, February 15th, weather starts to deteriorate on the west coast, with rain developing. Rain will begin in Northern California by evening. The Midwest stays mostly dry, while the South sees rain and thunderstorms developing. The Northeast will be partly cloudy and just a bit warmer, and a warming trend begins in most areas of Canada. By Sunday, February 16th, a major storm arrives in California, bringing heavy rain to the northern and central regions and snow in the mountains. The south will have widespread rain and some storms, but the northeast stays pretty quiet. In Canada, mild weather continues for most, but snow returns to Alberta. All right, folks, let's talk about travel impacts and some recommendations to help you stay safe out there. For air travel, major delays are expected Monday through Wednesday at San Francisco International Airport, Sacramento International, Reno Tahoe International, Portland International, and Seattle Tacoma International. Now, if you're planning to hit the road, I'd really advise you to avoid all Sierra Nevada mountain passes, I-80 over Donner Pass, US 50 Echo Summit, California Highway 88 and I-5 through Northern California. There's going to be heavy rain and reduced visibility, so please be careful. Up in Canada, the Trans-Canada Highway through Alberta will see extreme cold and blowing snow Monday and Tuesday, and Highway 1 through British Columbia will have wet conditions and mountain snow. On the bright side, today and Friday are looking safe for travel on western mountain passes and those interstate corridors in central and eastern US. So, plan accordingly, folks. Now, looking beyond our 3-day forecast window, the weather pattern across North America is being influenced by a disrupted polar vortex and the transition from La Niña to ENSO neutral conditions. This is creating a pretty active pattern with a continued storm track aimed at California through at least February 22nd, periodic cold outbreaks across the central and eastern US, variable conditions across the Midwest with storm systems tracking through every few days, and some extreme cold potential for the Canadian Prairies continuing into late February. The stratospheric sudden warming event that happened earlier in February has collapsed the polar vortex, letting Arctic air spill southward much more easily. This means we've got the potential for some additional significant cold snaps affecting the eastern two-thirds of North America right through the end of the month. For California, this parade of storms is a big shift from the dry pattern that dominated December and January. The Colorado River Basin, which saw near-record minimum snowpack, will benefit a lot from this active pattern. But folks, residents need to prepare for flooding, mudslides and dangerous travel conditions in those mountain areas. With multiple weather hazards affecting different regions, here are some critical safety reminders you really need to keep in mind. For California storm preparation, be sure to stock up on emergency supplies like water, food, flashlights, and batteries. Make sure your electronic devices and power banks are charged. Know your evacuation routes if you're in flood-prone areas and avoid unnecessary travel Monday through Wednesday. Never drive through flooded roadways and secure outdoor furniture and any loose objects. For winter weather safety, dress in layers if you're venturing outdoors in cold regions, cover all exposed skin in extreme cold, and avoid prolonged exposure when wind chills drop below -20 degrees Fahrenheit or -29 Celsius. Keep an emergency kit in your vehicle, blankets, water, snacks, first aid, just in case. Make sure you've got adequate heating at home and check on elderly neighbors and relatives. If you're heading into the mountains, carry tire chains even if you have four-wheel or all-wheel drive. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Tell someone your route and expected arrival time. Check road conditions before you leave and turn back if conditions worsen. And for coastal hazards, stay back from beach logs and large rocks. Never turn your back on the ocean. Heed all warnings from lifeguards and authorities, and secure boats and waterfront property. Stay safe, everyone. Today's weather report covers a wide spectrum of conditions across our continent. The highest confidence forecasts are for California storm development starting Sunday. That's high confidence. Continued cold across the Canadian Prairies, also high confidence. Relatively quiet weather for the eastern US with moderate to high confidence, and some severe weather potential in Texas and Oklahoma with moderate confidence. The lowest confidence area is the exact track and intensity of storms after Monday, since small variations in storm tracks can create big differences in precipitation amounts and snow levels. The week ahead will be dominated by the major California weather pattern, which honestly represents one of the most significant storm sequences of the winter season for the West Coast. Folks, you really need to take this seriously and prepare accordingly. For Sky Alert USA, I'm committed to keeping you updated as this weather situation evolves. We'll keep monitoring all systems and provide updated forecasts as conditions change. Remember to enable weather alerts on your mobile devices, follow official National Weather Service and Environment Canada statements, and never take unnecessary risks during severe weather. Stay weather aware, stay prepared, and stay safe out there, America and Canada. This has been your comprehensive weather update for Thursday, February 13th, 2026. Please subscribe to Sky Alert USA for daily weather updates and hit that notification bell so you never miss critical weather information. Share this video with anyone who needs to know about these